This sport is sponsored by Sid's Carpet Barn. Last night on Monday Night Football doubleheader, the Falcons upset the Bills. The Bills were 3.5-point favorites on the road, beat them 24-14. And in the nightcap, the Bears topped the Commanders on a late fumble from Jaden Daniels, 25-24. The Dodgers took a 1-0 series lead last night in the NLCS, and the Mariners ballooned their lead over the Blue Jays to 2-0. With Kohl's Fine Flooring closing, Sid's Carpet Barn is San Diego's undisputed flooring leader, carrying a huge selection of high-end flooring and durable, economical flooring too at all the lowest prices in town. Visit sidscarpetbarn.com.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
Some of us have come to call it the Freak Show.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
No fluff, just facts.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL season.
Here goes Bijan Robinson. Keeps his feet. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Atlanta. Oh, my goodness.
Still haven't figured it out yet.
Scott Daly sends it back. Spot down. Kick up. Jake Moody from 38. It is gone. Time expires. And the Bears win.
We'll react and take the first look at Week 7. The Mike Schilt fallout continues. Plus, how do those picks pan out?
Logan Gilbert, pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, more than 5 pitcher strikeouts.
We've got to work on our communication.
Blake Snell, pitcher for the Dodgers, more than 16.5 pitching counts. Bijan Robinson, more than 32.5 receiving yards.
You're really good.
Caleb Williams, more than 227.5 pass yards.
We got a champ here.
Corey Krosky-Merritt, more than 70.5 rush yards.
Just a bit outside.
You know you're looking at it with. Guess this means we keep doing the segment. Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, we enter the Fletch Zone.
Oh, yes. Let's get it going. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Rain in San Diego. What are we going to do?
Oh, my God.
It's so windy and rainy outside. This is chaos. It is San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for the next couple of hours. Not John and Jim, but special surprise coming up at 2 o'clock. Don't worry, John and Jim still have jobs. They'll be here tomorrow. But special surprise coming up at 2 o'clock today, filling in for John and Jim. He might sneak in a little bit early as well. It is San Diego Sports 760. We got a busy day today. Bijan Robinson single-handedly wins a game for the Atlanta Falcons and wins me a fantasy football matchup. Thank you, Bijan. Dodgers game 2 today after game 1 chaos against the Brewers. AJ Preller has spoken. We've heard from him. He did about 30 minutes on a Zoom call this morning, and AJ Preller did what AJ Preller does, which is speak a lot without saying a single word. We'll have some of that audio coming up in about 10-15 minutes. We also have a 4-pack of tickets to How Low Scream at SeaWorld San Diego that we're going to be giving away. But I think we start with the only real logical place to start, and it's because we saw what some people are describing as an absolute miracle happen yesterday in Monday Night Football. I don't know if everyone caught on to it. I have tried to get in touch with the Pope to get this qualified as an actual miracle. But Jake Moody, 3rd round draft pick of the San Francisco 49ers, hit a game-winning field goal. It actually went 3 of 4, had 1 field goal blocked. Jake Moody had a great night for the Chicago Bears and led them to a victory in a game that they were underdogs to the Washington Commanders. Jake Moody is the savior of Chicago. How about that? You couldn't have done that every other opportunity you've had in the NFL. You had to save it for a different town, not the town that drafted you in the 3rd round. Last night was infuriating for me, Sammy Long.
I agree with everything you said. I think you're wrong about one thing, though. The savior of Chicago is not Jake Moody. The savior of Chicago is Caleb Williams. Like I told you, was going to go over on pass yards. You said I was crazy.
Yes, he did go over on pass
250 yards in the pouring rain, 2 touchdowns on the night. Very big performance from Caleb Williams. Potential legacy
You are
game.
Such a stand, because today, I already know. Sammy and I really haven't talked. We've been in meetings. We've been doing stuff. Really, since I got off the air this morning at 10 o'clock, we've been very busy. I can promise you, here is how Sammy's tone is going to be today.
I'm having a phenomenal day.
Caleb Williams is the GOAT, the greatest quarterback who's ever walked the earth. Josh Allen is a fraud. Those words will come out of your mouth.
Today's show. Josh Allen's a fantastic player. We're going to get to them in a second. I'll save my Josh Allen take for a minute from now.
Sucks. He's the worst.
Caleb Williams, you told me yesterday you were aghast that I could possibly take the over on a quarterback, the former number 1 overall pick, and leads his team on the road. Gritty win against the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels played fantastic himself outside of the 3 turnovers from the offense. I thought it was fun seeing the future of the NFL in the NFC between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels.
It was really great. That was a fun game. And I'm proud of you, Sammy. Caleb Williams went over. How did long shots do as a whole?
I had 3 of 5, and honestly, it's kind of on you because I gave you a veto, and if you had vetoed Gilbert or Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, then if we had flex played, we would have cashed. So honestly, you can blame Fletch for the reason that the long shots didn't come through last night.
That makes perfect sense.
Don't want to point anything, but
we did get a little bit of help last night. The Commanders losing knocked 70 people out. Around 250 people got knocked out of Circa Survivor.
That was nice.
Sammy and I stay alive. We advance to week 7. We will be discussing our pick coming up in just a little bit. But like I mentioned, AJ Preller has spoken. We're going to hear from him coming up in about 8 or 9 minutes here in the second segment of the show. Right now is time we get to something called the Big Three, where Sammy Long takes through the top stories in the world of sports. Get ready to reset your life at the water cooler when you start talking to your buddies. You want to get a little bit smarter? Listen to Sammy. That's what I've always said. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
A couple things here before we get to the Big Three. One, watch the show on YouTube at San Diego
Hey guys,
Sports.
watch it. Seriously.
At San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube. Or on X, at Fletch and Sammy. You can find us there. Second thing, hit us up on the Talkback mic. It's free. It adds nothing to your day
We
outside
love
of
the Talkback mic.
going over to the free iHeartRadio app, searching San Diego Sports 760. While you're listening to the station, you can hit that little red microphone button. Maybe give Sammy some help with long shots today on the free Talkback mic.
Okay, we'll take suggestions.
How about that? And then we get them. It goes straight to Sammy's computer. We can play back your voicemail on air. We'd love to hear from you today. So take a look at Prize Picks, see if there's one you like, and submit it on the Talkback mic. If we get enough of them, this is the Talkback Mike's long shots, and maybe that becomes a new Tuesday tradition. I don't know. Sammy, where are we going with the Big Three?
So big upsets last night between the Falcons and the Bears. Who impressed you more, Caleb Williams or Michael Penix Jr.?
Caleb Williams did, in large part because Michael Penix, he played fine, but Bijan Robinson had like 250 yards on the night combined between passing and rushing. Like that was much more a Bijan manhandling the Buffalo Bills, an injured Buffalo Bills defense, by the way, more than it was an impressive night for Michael Penix. Although he hit some nice shots to Drake London. Imagine if that touchdown would have scored right before half with Drake London, who barely stepped out of bounds. You're looking at a complete blowout instead of just kind of a blowout. So if we're talking about who impressed more, Caleb stepped up in some really, really big moments last night for the Bears. I think Bears fans today feel a little bit better about the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams thing, because once it got off script, Caleb was still pretty good last night.
Both are very impressive. Michael Penix, I thought, was impressive in that he had a touchdown, 250 yards, and he really should have had the Drake London one. They were. What I loved about the Falcons' offense is that they got an early lead on Buffalo, and you thought there were times in that game where they were kind of going to play it safe, just punt the ball away. Like at the end of the first half, kind of run the clock out and strain it so the Bills don't get the ball back. They were aggressive, and I got to give them credit for even going for it. Drake London trying to get the touchdown instead of running out of bounds and kicking the field goal. Obviously, you would have liked the points there, but Atlanta looks really good. Michael Penix, that was the first game I've seen him look actually calm in the pocket so far. And then Caleb Williams, though, I mean, on the road, I'd go with Caleb because those conditions, I mean, listen, they got some help. There was 3 turnovers by Washington, so that obviously played a role in this thing. But Caleb stayed composed, down 8 late in the fourth quarter. That's at 16 points at the time, you're going, oh no, Caleb Williams and this offense can't score. DeAndre Swift takes one to the house, and then the kind of running game, setting up behind the running game, and just an ugly game. The fact that the NFC doesn't really have a clear-cut favorite right now, a win over Washington, both teams, I think, certainly Washington's going to be in the postseason, and we'll see what the schedule kind of opens up for them. I think that was a big win for them and kind of quieted a little bit of the Caleb Williams got taken over, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, all these guys. I think it was a big win.
That noise will be there for the rest of his career.
Yes, but last night was a big step in that.
For sure. Depending on how things go for Michael Penix, depending on how things go for Jaden Daniels. Like, imagine Jaden Daniels ends up in a second NFC championship in 2 years, which right now, looking at the NFC, he absolutely could.
Jaden Daniels is the best so far. I'm not saying Caleb has passed him, but it is funny how we go from Jaden Daniels, best quarterback out of that class, to now all of a sudden Drake May is the best quarterback out of that class. There's a lot of stuff there, and no shot to Drake May. Drake May's been really good. And then now we're seeing Michael Penix come on, Caleb Williams a little bit. So I think overall it's
going to go down as a really, really good draft class is what it's going to go down as, because all those guys seem to have at least staying power. Like it's easy for me to see Caleb Williams being the quarterback for the next 5 years.
Right. Not a single one of those teams is, if they're picking at the top of the draft this year, looking at a quarterback.
Right.
The only team But again, he hasn't really played so much as JJ McCarthy is the only one that you look at. You're kind of jury's still out on, but I guess he hasn't played that much, so it's not fair to just crush him. Okay, Mike Tomlin had some interesting comments on the Browns trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals. He said, "It doesn't make sense to me," in quotes, kind of talking about how why would you trade to an interdivision rival a quarterback, basically ripping the Browns. Do you like this from Mike Tomlin? Ahead of them, by the way, playing Joe Flacco in Cincy on Thursday night.
Tomlin is very old school. This is a very old school way of thinking, I think. And if it was anyone but Joe Flacco, like if it was someone who had a future, I would feel the same way. It's a little bit like even Dallas trading Micah Parsons just inside the NFC. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you not try to find an AFC trade partner? Because you're going to run into him. But the fact of the matter is, it's Joe Flacco. He's got this season, and that's probably it. Like, Joe Flacco probably retires at the end of this year. So I get it from Mike Tomlin's point of view. Old school guy. This would never happen in the old school of the NFL, even if it was a Joe Flacco who's in his late 30s or he's already 40. I don't know how old he is. But for Mike Tomlin, I think he's just frustrated that Joe Flacco has played for like every team in the AFC North and probably knows the Steelers pretty well.
It's interesting to me how
upset alert, by the way, upset alert.
It's a tricky game because you saw the offense come alive against Green Bay a little bit with Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco's seen the Steelers a gazillion times from his time with the Browns, now with the Bengals, and then obviously all of his years with Baltimore. I love Mike Tomlin that he just kind of says what he thinks. Like it's fun. Like he's a great at the presser because he doesn't really care. And he doesn't just chirp, like he backs it up. Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons. This division feels very wide open right now in terms of it's a golden opportunity for the Steelers taking because of all the Ravens injuries, them being 1-5. I think the Steelers like our team at the trade deadline that I think you have the Chiefs and Bills still atop the AFC. The Ravens are just out right now because of all the injuries. We'll see if they can sneak in the playoffs. And then you kind of got that grouping of your Steelers, of your Patriots, of your Chargers, your Broncos, your teams that you like, but you don't know if they have enough to get over the top. I feel like if I'm the Steelers, knowing that you're going to be taking a rookie quarterback in the offseason and having to develop him, this is really your last year of Rodgers, you think. I try to go all in and try to win something because that roster is good enough to cause people some problems. Let's go to so Penn State obviously fired James Franklin the other day after their loss to Northwestern. Per On 3, Penn State's going to take a swing at Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman, who Marcus Freeman beat last year in the semifinals. And Nebraska's Matt Rule doesn't rule it out either. How attractive should the Penn State job be to coaches around the NFL or the college football?
Penn State is such a legacy program. I think it's always going to be an attractive job. Look, the rosters in college football we know are going to turn over year after year. Now, that's just the way it is. That's the way the system is set up with NIL and player mobility. Until there's some guidelines put into place, that's going to be it. But Penn State is a huge brand with a massive fan base with a 100,000 seat stadium that gets filled up whether they're good or not. So Penn State will always be a good job, but whoever comes in is going to have some serious gumption in the world of NIL. They can't go with a Belichickian hire, someone who's past it. They can't go with the Dabo Sweeney, someone who's reluctant to it. They need to go after, and knock on wood, this isn't the case, they need to go after a Sean Lewis type. They need to go after someone who's young, hungry, really bright, and ready to attack that world. I wouldn't be surprised if Deion Sanders gets a nod for it, because put Deion with a massive money program like Penn State, who knows what he's going to be able to do. Penn State needs to be very, very smart and very, very careful with this next hire. I don't know that I would go the Marcus Freeman route because he also has shown inability to win some big games sometimes. James Franklin, that was the big bugaboo. Penn State's going to be in big games for the next 10 years. You got to find someone, I think, maybe, that we haven't really heard the name of yet, but who's starting off in this world and who's going to be able to attract a bunch of people to the program.
I like going with a younger coach. I mean, James Franklin, that's why it's so puzzling to Penn State fans, people around college football. It's like, I mean, they get all the top recruits, like not necessarily Ohio State or Michigan, but they had the number one running back in the country coming to them next year. They had 5-star receivers. Like they get some of the top pass rushers in the country because of that. They've kind of churned them out. Micah Parsons and many guys over the years, LeVar Arrington. But it's like, it's crazy that he didn't win more with what he had, because it's not for a devoid lack of talent. Penn State, huge football program.
They're the number 2 team this year coming into the season.
Yeah, I mean, and they have it on paper, and James Franklin just was like a thing. He could not win big games. The job will be attractive, but you're talking about the one kind of downside to it is, like, if you're coaching in the Big 12 or somewhere else, you have an easier path to get in the playoff. And if you're at Penn State, I mean, you got to play Ohio State. You got to play Michigan, SC, and Oregon. SC looks like they're on the come. Oregon is excellent. Like, Penn State has dropped now to about the 5th best team in the Big Ten. In my estimation, this year even worse. But in terms of the brand of it, like, you're coming into a job where if you don't win immediately, there's no excuses because you're getting all the top recruits. They got to go get someone young that could go do it. Marcus Freeman would be interesting. He did beat him last year, but yeah, I'd try to hire an offensive coordinator from the NFL.
Matt Rule is interesting, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he walked on there, and then Nebraska people were in an uproar because he didn't shut this down, and then everyone in Nebraska was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then he went back today and was like, I'm not going. But he still didn't shut down the idea of if Penn State called.
I think Matt Rule's a smart guy, man, and he's been around some of the smartest head coaches in both sports, college and professional football.
Your point about Deion is interesting. Like, that hasn't been linked to anything, but if you got a guy like Deion that had the backing and the money, NIL money of a Penn State, you wonder what he could do, because Colorado, even though
huge, man.
Right, Colorado doesn't have the money to outspend Ohio State or USC, or like they don't have that, or Texas. It would be interesting if you got a guy like that a lot of young guys would want to play for, if you could really build a dynasty.
Well, and imagine Deion sitting at a boosters dinner, because now with the player retention fund and everything, where schools can almost directly pay players, Deion going to raise money for that, it's game over, dude. He's going to be able to raise $1 million. So millions and millions and millions, and all of them are going to go to certain players. It would be a home run. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We are going to be giving away those Hallow Scream tickets this hour, so don't go anywhere. Coming up next, AJ Preller spoke with the media about Mike Schultz's retirement. We got some sound from it. Can't wait for you to hear it. AJ Preller, as he always is very forthcoming, and you know exactly what he's thinking. We'll play some of that next, live on the iHeartRadio app. Answer me this, Sammy. How does $1,000 sound to you?
Fantastic. That's a lot of craps betting, baby.
Would you, I don't know, would this be of interest to you if you could just go to a website and enter in one word into a website and then you might win $1,000? Does that
one word?
Does that spark your interest at all?
It definitely piques my interest.
Well, guess what? There is a chance for you to do that very thing every day here on San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You just listen for the keyword, which hits at the top of the hour. Enter it over at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000. As Sammy says, ammo for craps. It's coming up.
Give you some bankroll. You can't go into craps with just $100. Like you got to give some time for the heater around the table. Everyone to get a turn, you know?
Speaking of craps, I'm actually heading out to Vegas next week, midweek.
What games are we going to be playing?
We'll see. I'm going to be working. This is not a just fun Vegas trip. This is I'm landing late at night Wednesday and I'm leaving late at night Thursday.
What's late at night?
And the majority of the day Thursday is work.
What's late at night?
I'll land, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock.
What? That's like the day starts in Vegas.
So next week is the Mountain West Media Days out in Las Vegas. John Schaefer was supposed to go. John Schaefer can no longer go. I am going instead, and I'll get there Wednesday night and leave Thursday night. And in the middle of all that is interviews with players, coaches. You're going to hear from Brian Dutcher on this show next week. How about that?
Why don't, I mean, what if you and Dutch just go play craps together? What if we have the interview at the craps table?
Could you imagine me and Brian Dutcher playing craps together?
I think Dutch could go on a little bit of a heater. Coach could really attack it from an angle that I think that the regular perspective would not be able to.
I think my goal is to get JD Wicker to buy me a steak in Las Vegas.
Dude,
JD, you listening?
If you get the San Diego State Aztecs, everyone over 21, to all be at the craps table and do an interview, that would be.
I'm not. Players, do not even come near me. I don't want to get you in any sort of trouble.
Oh yeah.
Coaches,
players can't gamble.
Athletic directors, communication staff. You and me, we're going out. How about that?
Well, can players gamble on table games?
I don't know the answer to this. I'm just gonna say no.
If I was a player, I would definitely know the answer to that question.
Have you seen the new rules? There's new stuff coming out. It's going to a House committee vote, like in DC, about allowing college student athletes to be able to bet on professional sports.
Yeah, like what's wrong with that?
It's a slippery slope, don't you think?
Well, I mean, but they don't have anything to do with like a college basketball player bet on the NBA. Like you're not.
I understand what you're saying, but within those very same applications or devices are also college numbers. So it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Hey, anything for the economy, baby.
Here's what we're going to say. Aztec basketball players, I'll talk to you on the air. Other than that, no affiliation. Brian Dutcher.
That's how we're going to end every interview. Have you guys been to the craps table yet?
Brian Dutcher, let's go hit some tables.
Be Dutch.
What do you think Dutch is? You think he's a blackjack guy? I don't know.
I think he'd be fun at a craps table.
I think he would too.
I mean, he's obviously very smart, has one of the best defensive schemes in the entire country. I think he can figure out blackjack as well.
See, I could never imagine me being the roller throwing a 7 with Brian Dutcher on the table. I'd feel so bad.
He'd be screaming at you, put you on the bench.
Yeah, like I would let down the coach. This guy who I have so much respect for. I'm the one who's letting. I would feel awful, Sammy. All right, let's get to this. AJ Preller spoke with the media earlier today about Mike Schultz's sudden, and I do mean sudden, retirement. And he was asked a couple of different things. What I found interesting was actually when AJ Preller was asked about his job security. So let's take a listen. This is about a minute long. AJ Preller talking about whether or not he's had those conversations with ownership about his contract, which expires at the end of next year.
I mean, to me, like, again, I think like in terms of, my situation and the contract, obviously that'll be between me and ownership and, what that process looks like. And again, I think, we'll have those conversations here going forward, but, I think from, myself and the rest of the baseball ops group, a lot of confidence and faith in like our roster, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build. And that's going to be a big emphasis and focus here over the course of the next few months from our end, is putting a championship team on the field for next year in the future.
Anyone get anything out of that? I'm honestly asking. I've listened to it 3 or 4 times already today, and I have not found one way or another where I'm leaning on whether or not AJ Preller is going to be the general manager of this team.
It's very odd because, like, he
did the press conference, right?
He did the press conference.
That means there's a certain amount of AJ Preller is going to be here, but he certainly didn't say anything like, yeah, we're working on hammering out a contract.
It was odd. It feels like they like saying it's between us and management, but all the signs, like you just said, is he's doing the press conference. If they were like, we want AJ Preller out, when
I think he would have already been gone.
Right, because the second Mike Schilt retires, this is the perfect opportunity for them. They're going to go, we're going with a whole clean sweep, new manager, new GM, president of baseball ops. Like, we're going to change the whole thing, and they haven't done that yet. So why would you? Because also, if you are going to wait and clip AJ Preller, then the whole time in this manager search, which are precious days here. I mean, managers start getting scooped up left and
for
right.
Sure. There's 8 openings.
Right. So, and that's going to be the question that every manager you interview for, or you potential manager that you interview for the job is going to be asking, is AJ Preller going to be here? Because I'm not coming to
And by the way, not just is AJ Preller going to be here next year, but after that.
Right, because if let's say AJ Preller likes somebody and he gets clipped in 3 months or next year, and then now the new GM comes in and doesn't want you as a manager. So
I would assume, based on the fact that he's doing this media availability today at all, AJ Preller's probably going to be signing a contract here with the next couple of days.
And they signed a pitcher last week. You would not be allowing a GM you're about to fire to be making roster moves for the potential future.
So he was also asked about Mike Schilt, about when the retirement conversation kind of started with Mike Schilt. And look, AJ said a lot about Mike Schilt. I'll be honest. He actually said more than I thought he would. He talked about Mike Schilt's health leading throughout the final stretch of the season. He talked about the fact that Mike Schilt was receiving death threats, which I don't think is unique to Padres management. I think that that's unfortunately across all of sports. Yeah. Between players, coaches, personnel, everyone kind of gets them to a certain extent. Hell, Sammy and I have gotten threats on social media because we talk. So it's just something that kind of comes with the territory. I'm not saying it's a good thing. However, I don't think it's a unique thing to Mike Schilt. But this is what he had to say about when this conversation first started between Mike Schilt and the team about the word retirement.
The retirement piece that really didn't come up throughout the season, like that portion of it. I think you could just tell again, like like again, physically, mentally, the joy you get from the job. I think those are different things we talk about all the time, like big picture wise, me and him. But I think it was more we got to Chicago. Like you get to Chicago, and now the season's it's done. There's a lot of emotion in that room. There's a lot of emotion from our players. We have a lot of guys that care a ton about this thing. And I think kind of coming out of that was the first time, like talking to him, where it was like, all right, yeah, this is something that he's that definitely wore on him, and more so from his standpoint, this is something he's got to make some decisions on. So in terms of where he was at, so.
I'm wondering if we learned anything new about the last few days of Mike Schilt with the San Diego Padres. I'm not wishing this or thinking this, but I wonder if there was something health-wise going on, because it was just so abrupt. And he had 2 years left on his deal. That's 2 years of money.
When he's 57, like you don't get done with the game unless you're like
he's been in baseball for 30-something years.
Right. This is not
really
like
only managed for 4 of those 30-something.
I mean, it's odd. And the way the letter was worded about I'm retiring from managing the Padres, like there's definitely something going on here. The fact that AJ
There's also times where sometimes you get to the top of the mountain, you get to what you're trying to do, and it's not necessarily what you thought it was. Like, that's a very human thing to have happen to you.
And it's interesting, like all players who are like close to retirement sometimes, regardless of the league, the second the season ends, like you just went through a long season, so your mind is kind of on retirement, and then you see guys kind of get jacked up for the season the next year. But it does feel abrupt, it feels sudden, and it does, like watching this interview, it looks like AJ Preller was blindsided by it a little bit.
I think so too. All right, quick break here. Hello Scream tickets coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Get your talkbacks in. If you have any picks for daily fantasy for long shots coming up at 12:45. We would love to hear from you. Talk back, Mike, on the free iHeartRadio app. Get them in there. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Mucinex Kickstart. In the NFL last night, the Falcons got a victory over the Buffalo Bills as home underdogs, and then the Bears went on the road and beat the Washington Commanders by a score 25-24. Tonight in Major League Baseball, we got NLCS Game 2, Dodgers-Brewers get going at 5:08 p.m. Yamamoto is going to be on the mound for the Dodgers while Freddie Peralta is getting the ball for the Milwaukee Brewers. Woke up feeling like cough, congestion, headache was coming on. Have big plans this weekend. Take Mucinex Kickstart all-in-one and one relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Mucinex Kickstart for relief with a kick at your favorite retailer. Use as directed.
It's San Diego Sports 760. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. If you're joining us for the first time, this is a show called the Fletch Zone. It's on from noon to 2 every day, Monday through Friday. We like to have fun. We talk a ton of gambling. Sammy and I are not ones to shy away from a little trip to a casino every once in a while. But if you like stuff that, I don't know, most dudes like, sports, football, beer, gambling, you're going to like this show. So stay tuned. Hang out a while. Sammy really likes the Chiefs. We got an interesting text from the 858. Did I miss Sammy addressing the UTEP study on KC officiating?
Please.
So funny that this did not make its way to our rundown. But yes, the University of Texas El Paso, with a bunch of PhD guys, they did do a study that was published and peer-reviewed, which has proven from 2015 to 2023, the Kansas City Chiefs, more so than any other football team in the National Football League, has benefited in the postseason specifically by in-game judgments from referees.
You mean like how they've been called more penalties against in Super Bowls versus
I mean science.
You know, I think
Sammy.
the people at UTEP need to do a little less just sitting around worrying about whatever they're doing, because the Cowboys, Texas football, things aren't really going their way.
Spencer Barnes, who is a PhD, says our findings suggest that when the league's financial health is at stake, rule enforcement may subtly shift to protect market appeal. And in the
because Kansas City's a big market.
Here we go. In the Patrick Mahomes era, the Kansas City Chiefs have become one of the NFL's most marketable franchises. And over the era, the Kansas City Chiefs have benefited more from postseason officiating than any team in football.
You know what? This actually warms my heart, because we're at the time of year where the Chiefs were 0-2 to start the year. And it's like, are they going to miss the playoffs? What's going on? This team looks awful. And so everyone was just bagging them that they were bad. But now, since they look like one of the best teams in the NFL, we're back to the old narrative that the refs are helping them. The NFL
sounds like you're
rigged.
asking for another quote. Here's this one. Quote, the fact that the postseason penalties consistently favored one franchise, the Chiefs, while similar dynasties showed no such pattern, points to the powerful role of financial incentives in shaping supposedly neutral decisions.
Do you mean like when they cost the Chiefs a chance to go to the Super Bowl because Dee Ford lined up off sides and they called a pick
Sammy,
on Tom Brady, but they call it back?
I am reading straight from a scientific journal with a bunch of PhDs on it, okay? You don't need to get selfish about this. You don't need to get butthurt about this.
This is my favorite time of year.
The
because
science is proving.
Now it's that the Chiefs are getting help from the officials, because now no team can stop them. And everyone's beloved Bills that look terrible all of a sudden was the one and only hope.
When compared directly to the Tom Brady era New England Patriots and other recent Super Bowl contenders, the numbers suggest the phenomenon is unique to the Kansas City Chiefs' emergence as a television ratings powerhouse.
Well, Taylor Swift didn't come in the picture until 2 years ago, and we've been winning Super Bowls for multiple years now. So
the study was conducted from 2015 to 2023.
Exactly. So Taylor Swift wasn't even a part of it then.
Correct.
Right. So, I mean,
it was the Patrick Mahomes era.
I think the thing, though, is that you got to have a more marketable quarterback like Brock Purdy. And although he gets paid like it, is not marketable.
Again, you're getting a little bit butthurt right now, and that's okay. I'm just reading you science because the text line wanted it. So we can move on from it.
Again, I understand. I would hate the Chiefs too.
You don't need to get so sensitive about it.
But unfortunately for everyone is that they're back, and everyone knows they're back.
858 Sammy wants to talk about anything but the study. LMAO 619 LOL. Sammy is so butthurt. Dude, sometimes you just got to wear it. I wear the fact that the Niners are all hurt and that our quarterback.
You wear the fact that the Niners aren't very good, and you hide behind the fact that they're hurt.
They have a better record than the Chiefs. I'm just throwing this out there. We don't need to hide from this. These are numbers. These are scientific studies from PhDs that say the Chiefs have been cheating.
If we got to play the schedule that y'all got to play,
along with the help of the NFL, the Chiefs are cheating And all the money that we so lovingly bet on the NFL is fraudulent.
Then why do you watch the NFL every week if it's fake and rigged?
Well, maybe I'll stop if the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Then it's all going to be fake and rigged. And thank you, UTEP, for publishing this study. Serious question. Bills or Eagles, who's in more trouble? Because both of these teams who were 4-0 heading into 2 weeks ago have now lost back-to-back primetime games. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, or not the Chiefs, God, this is your fault. These guys are in
You're
my
the
head.
one that brought it up. I don't know why I didn't bring up the study.
The Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills both have lost games and both look extremely vulnerable here. So a lot of people had the Eagles back in the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills this year.
I didn't.
A lot of people did, Sammy. That was probably the most popular picks for the Super Bowl this year. Both these teams are in huge trouble as of right now. Now, the Bills are going into a bye. Do you know who the Eagles have this week, Sammy?
Let me pull up with the Eagles. I believe they have Minnesota.
And Sean McDermott has talked about it now that this bye week needs to act as some sort of reset. And then their schedule does lighten up for a little bit when they get back. I personally think the Bills are going to be okay. Like, their defense has been injured. They do have a matchup with the Chiefs coming up in 3 weeks. So maybe we take the Bills that week for Circus Survivor.
We'll be ready when Josh Allen's father comes to town, Patrick Mahomes.
So, but when you look at the Bills, I actually think they're going to be okay. The Eagles are looking disturbingly like the Eagles of 2 years ago, where the year before they make it to a Super Bowl, they start rolling to start a year, and then they completely fall off a cliff. That's kind of what the Eagles have reminded me of the last couple of weeks. Their loss to the 49ers and their loss to the Broncos. It seems like they are heading towards that cliff. There's all sorts of issues. AJ Brown saying, I don't even know what the hell players only meeting they're talking about. Saquon Barkley doesn't look like Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts, if he's not tush pushing it, doesn't look like he's a quarterback who can move the ball down the field. I think the Eagles are actually in some real trouble here. The Bills will be okay.
I think the Eagles are in more trouble for the regular season. I think the Bills are in more trouble for the postseason. The Bills' schedule is extremely easy. I mean, they get to beat up on Miami,
the Chiefs,
the Jets. Time in, time out. I mean, they do beat up on the Chiefs in the regular season, as we all know.
Oh,
but look, going forward, they finally have some competition with the New England Patriots. But they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be just fine. Not that the Eagles aren't, but the Eagles have a tougher division in the sense of the Commanders, despite the loss last night, aren't a joke. The Giants, even though I think next year is really their year when Malik Neighbors comes back, they look like a team that is not just a walkover. Hell, they beat them a week and a half ago. So they've already had that. In Dallas, that's going to be fun. Like, Dallas took them to the mat in week 1 as well. And even though the Dallas defense is atrocious, that offense can put up a lot of points. Looks like CeeDee Lamb's coming back this week. I think the problem with the Eagles, they have an offensive identity crisis, but they have the weapons to get it back. I think the problem with the Bills is they keep running back the same formula every year, and it's Sean McDermott, and the defense is the same core group of guys, Ed Oliver, Matt Milano. And at some point, we've seen this not work over and over again. 0-4 against Mahomes in the postseason, 0-1 against Burrow in the postseason. And I think they tried to follow the Chiefs formula, actually, in that you trade Tyreek Hill and you just get a collection of receivers and get better around them. But if I'm the Bills, if I'm Brandon Beane, you got to go get a receiver, because Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and these guys, although they're good complementary pieces, they are not a number one. When the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, they still had a number one in Travis Kelce, who then they could complement around. Outside of James Cook and Josh Allen, they're by themselves. I mean, it's literally them in the backfield. They need to get a superstar receiver. I think they got to go hunting at the deadline, because I think it's another early postseason going home for the Buffalo Bills.
Glad you brought up the Chiefs again. The implications of this study extend beyond football, the research team says. The study draws parallels to financial markets, corporate governance, and regulatory agencies where dominant players may enjoy advantages not because of explicit corruption, but because institutions under pressure adapt to preserve stability and revenue. This research not only deepens their understanding of sports governance, but also illustrates a larger societal concern. When financial pressures weigh heavily, impartiality can erode, says another PhD from UTEP.
About it, cuz.
All right, let's read some.
No, here we go. Text.
Let's read some real good text. Oh, here's all my people coming to my defense. 619, being the Chiefs have played in more playoff games than any other team in the Mahomes era, it would mathematically make more sense that they have had more of any and every statistic. SoCal Jayhawk.
It's the right thought, SoCal
Fantastic.
Jayhawk. I will say the study accounts for that. They compared it back to the New England Patriots era of Tom Brady, who was playing in more postseason games, and the same results did not be found.
760 says Sammy said that perfectly. I'm more worried for Buffalo in the playoffs. Thank you very much.
That has nothing to do with the Chiefs.
858
How about
says
the rest of these.
858 says F them at UTEP. That's right. 858 619 says Eagles have more concerns. Listen, if
619 says Sammy's only making it worse by continuing to defend it. No, the study is the study, Sammy. You don't.
Yeah, but I don't care what
defend
some irrelevant like Hicks in the middle of Texas have to say.
PhDs. You just called them Hicks? You can call me a Hick and get away with it, Sammy. I live in East County. I'm from Merced, California. I don't have a PhD.
Listen,
these are scientists and doctors.
Well, and maybe they could put it to good use, like curing cancer or something, instead of worrying about how the NFL.
For someone who bets as much as you do, you would be furious if this was any other team.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
If the Buffalo Bills had this same study come out about them, and you realize, oh, now that the Bills have a little bit of juice,
because you know why the Bills never win, so it doesn't matter.
Oh my God,
hey, Ben Fletcher, let me ask you a question.
It has nothing to do with the fact that the Chiefs are winning.
No, hold on. If the NFL, that study does not account for even Taylor Swift being here, which draws an entire different demographic.
It's probably gotten worse over the last 2 years.
Well, they got blown out in the Super Bowl last year, so I don't think so. And then number two, if the NFL was trying to rig the game for certain teams, why have it been 30 years since the Dallas Cowboys have been in the Super Bowl? Why would it not be the Cowboys versus the Giants in the NFC Championship game every year? And LA would be winning Super Bowl
because those guys are already getting ratings. The New York Giants have sucked, and the Jets have sucked for a long time. They still get ratings. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones admits it.
No, this is just dumb.
Jerry Jones's value goes up and up and up.
This is an idiotic study.
You grew up a Chiefs fan. They were forgotten about for a while.
They were horrible.
Even as one of the NFL's founding franchises, the Chiefs were gone for a while.
619 says, does the report state Jerry Jones paid for the study?
No, it does not.
Listen,
this study was independently financed.
If this makes you feel better about the Niners not winning in the postseason, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, you're missing the point a little bit, because the reason the Chiefs have gotten this help from officials, as cited by the UTEP study, is because they were a found franchise. Patrick Mahomes gets there and all of a sudden they're booming again. And all of a sudden bandwagons like you are jumping on. That's why this study
bandwagons like me are jumping on. Listen to me. I know it's hard to accept that the Chiefs are back and everyone doesn't want that to happen. But listen, if they're getting calls, this is crazy. This is nonsense
the
that
numbers
people want to make up.
Are the numbers
because they are salty. And guess what? The Chiefs have probably beaten your favorite team in the postseason.
Salt has nothing to do with this. By analyzing more than 13,000 penalty calls from 2015 to 2023, researchers have found that postseason officiating has disproportionately favored the Patrick Mahomes era Kansas City Chiefs.
858 says A58 says there's multiple MIT studies that show no team has any advantages with NFL refs. I'll take MIT over UTEP. Thank you, 858.
The numbers are the numbers.
I didn't even know UTEP was a school.
Inarguable. Yes, you did.
Like, who are these dudes?
It's the University of Texas, El Paso.
Get out of here.
Yeah. You see their name once a year.
A lot of learning in Texas, El Paso going on.
Sammy, you are such a hater, and the butthurt narrative is real. Keep those texts coming in. All right, if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Use the talkback mic. We are going to make sure there is a listener pick included in Long Shots, which is coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. And by the way, Sammy, has this hour ticked over to 1 o'clock yet?
It hasn't.
It hasn't.
12:47:40.
What time? Oh, did we say that we were going to be giving away the SeaWorld tickets in hour number 2 of the show?
Honestly, I don't listen to your live read, so I don't know.
We said we were going to give them away in hour 1 of the show, which has about 13 minutes left. So over the next 13 minutes, a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Howl of Scream will be coming. Stay here. San Diego Sports 760. 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld is coming up within the next 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. SeaWorldSanDiego.com for more information. 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, and the shrills of Coasters After Dark. Your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets coming up in just mere moments. Now, Sammy, we need a winner. We need a midweek winner.
619, because I defend the Chiefs not getting calls, thinks I'm an embarrassment to my parents.
Yeah, Sammy sounds so incredibly dumb. I feel bad for his parents.
619 is just sad because I asked. This was the guy last week that I asked Kevin Acey if there's any thought to trading Fernando Tatis Jr.
Sammy, this is all in the past. We need to get to long shots. We're running out of time here in this hour. We still have tickets to give away, a 4-pack of them. We need you to make us all some money. We need a listener pick. Let's just.
Do we have our listener pick?
We do.
We got some suggestions on YouTube.
Our boy Joey from La Mesa hit us on a talkback.
Big Joey, dude.
Smash it. No way, dude. We got the error message from Microsoft.
Hold on.
Sammy.
Operator error. Here we go.
UTEP study is
You
killing
looking
you, bro.
for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
Flip it, post it. That was good. The Microsoft error. Wow.
Dude, PrizePicks is making me update the app right as I'm going here. Are you serious right now?
You remember your picks?
I did, but now.
All right, well, Joey from La Mesa said that Shohei breaks through today, and he likes 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Shohei's been terrible.
He's had a 138 batting average in the postseason so far.
He's been awful. Are we right? Like, is he going to stay that bad?
I mean, he's not going to stay that bad, but the thinking is that you are going up against Freddie Peralta, the Brewers' best pitcher. So I'm not against the pick.
Do we like Joey's pick? We were asking for a pick on the
then
talkback.
then we're going for it.
Okay.
We're going for it because if Joey believes in it, then we're going to do it for
And
Joey.
Joey lives in like a really cool part of San Diego where other cool people live. Named me.
In La Mesa.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out to the Mesa.
All right, what else we got? I saw Dave on YouTube had Freddie Peralta more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts.
Yep, we're going. That was included in here as well. Freddie Peralta more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. If you are the Brewers, you have to win this game tonight. Like last night, you come back in the game. The Dodgers leave so many opportunities on the table.
That double play was a gift from God.
What was it? 8-6-2, something crazy like that.
It was a gift from God, literally.
Yeah,
and you can't capitalize on it. Like the Brewers should have won that game yesterday.
Yeah, they get out of bases loaded. They get out of multiple times. The Dodgers have traffic on the base pass, and they don't do anything. And then they have a bases loaded in the 9th inning, and they still only get one run.
And they have all of San Diego rooting for him. Chaos.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you're going there looking like they're going to win this game, and then they go to Sasaki. He gets in trouble. Trinan gets out of it. So, but I do think Freddie Peralta goes a ways in this game. They burned a lot of the bullpen yesterday. They went to all their heavy arms for the Brewers. Freddie Peralta, more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. On the other side, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, we're staying away from strikeouts because he's the one starting pitcher for the Dodgers that has struggled a little bit so far in the postseason. He gave up 3 runs in that Game 3 loss to the Phillies last week. But I do think he has a little bit of a bounce back. Less than 1.5 earned runs allowed tonight. The Brewers' bats have not been there. They're not prone to the long ball. They're prone to a lot of traffic on the base pass. And Yamamoto, his one weakness is he can't give up the long ball at times. So we're going to go less than 1.5 earned runs allowed. Then we're going to go to some tennis.
Ooh, Sammy's tennis picks. Those don't miss.
We know I don't miss on tennis. All right, Taylor Fritz, the local kid, Rancho Santa Fe.
What up, T. Fritz?
Alex and T. Frizzy.
Open invite, by the way, to the show, Taylor.
Dude, we got to interview Taylor Fritz. I actually nerd out on that interview. Alexander Zverev, this is the third and some of the third and fourth best players in the world, or fourth and fifth after Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic. Zverev had some interesting comments this tournament, though. He was complaining about how the courts for all the majors are softer, they're saying, for the U.S. Open, the French Open, all this stuff, to benefit the power of Sinner and Alcaraz.
No one likes a soft court.
No one likes a soft court.
Cushion for the pushing is not cool in tennis. That's only cool in life.
Okay, so Taylor Fritz, Alexander Zverev. This match is happening tomorrow, Wednesday, 9:30 in the morning. We're going to go more than 24.5 total games. I think this match goes a little bit of ways. Both elite players. This is the Four Kings. It's happening in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You can actually watch it on Netflix if you are so inclined. So, and then my last tennis pick, Naomi Osaka, less than 19.5 total games. She's playing Susan Layman's. Naomi Osaka kind of went away for years, won a couple majors, had a kid. was kind of out of the top 10 for a little while there.
Sammy hates her because she put family first. And Sammy's the opposite
you
of
never
family
put
first.
family before bets. I mean, that's just selfish. But Naomi Osaka at the U.S. Open really found something, making the quarterfinals. Less than 19.5 total games for Naomi Osaka. She seems like she's got it back going again. So I think she gets it done quickly. So
a little five-picker?
Five-picker. So to recap, we had Joey had what? Otani over 1.5 total bases?
Hits, runs, RBIs.
Okay. Otani more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Freddie Peralta, pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, going more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, pitcher for the Dodgers, less than 1.5 earned runs allowed.
That would be my veto, by the way.
You want to veto it?
I'm not gonna, but that would be my veto.
We can veto it. That's fine.
I'm playing it, but that would be my veto if I was making a veto.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto, less than 1.5 earned runs allowed. Naomi Osaka, tennis, less than 19.5 total games. And Taylor Fritz versus Alexander Zverev, more than 24.5 total games. Going to get it done for us out there in Saudi Arabia.
That's a flex play. Opened a double, but maybe we times 5, you know. Download the Prize Picks app, use promo code Fletch, get a $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 entry. All right, right now, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. This year, new horrors have awoken. 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, the shrills of coasters after dark every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now through November 2nd. Halloween fun for the whole family for a limited time. Kids go free with a paid adult ticket. How about 4 adult tickets? That's on the line right now. Sammy, what caller number you want to give these away to?
Let's do 9.
9. Nice. 877-767-4760. Caller number 9. You're going to SeaWorld with 4 tickets for Hallow Scream. Plenty more fun to get to. Hour 2 coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The Lakers get going in preseason game number 4 tonight. Luka Doncic will be making his preseason debut along with Marcus Smart. Lakers currently favored by 7.5. In the MLB tonight, NLCS Game 2, Dodgers Brewers in Milwaukee gets going at 5:08 p.m. Dodgers slight favorite on the money line at -120. Yoshinobu Yamamoto will get the ball for the Dodgers, while the Brewers will be sending out Freddie Peralta. Progressive Insurance says if you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renters insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Get a quote for renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
Some of us have come to call it the Freak Show.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
No fluff, just facts.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL season.
Here goes Bijan Robinson. Keeps his feet. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Atlanta. Oh, my goodness.
Still haven't figured it out yet?
Scott Daly sends it back. Spot down. Kick up. Jake Moody from the 38. It is gone. Time expires. And the Bears win.
We'll react and take the first look at Week 7. The Mike Schilt fallout continues. Plus, how do those picks pan out?
Logan Gilbert, pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, more than 5 pitcher strikeouts.
We got to work on our communication.
Blake Snell, pitcher for the Dodgers, more than 16.5 pitching outs. Bijan Robinson, more than 32.5 receiving yards.
You're really good.
Caleb Williams, more than 227.5 pass yards.
We got a champ here.
Corey Krosky Merritt, more than 70.5 rush yards.
Just a bit outside.
You're looking at it with
Guess this means we keep doing the segment. Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, we enter the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, it's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you. We got a special guest who's going to swing by around 1:45 today, Sammy. And then that same special guest is going to host the entirety of John and Jim today. So stay tuned. You never know who it's going to be. It's a big surprise. It's actually kind of cool. We'll tell you more about that coming up at 1:45. Right now, before we get to the big 3 of hour number 2, did want to point something out here. The first AP polls for college basketball came out yesterday. And what's pretty cool is it's not just Aztec fans in the comments of the first AP poll saying, well, where the hell is San Diego State? It is like big time national college basketball writers in the comments saying, I think you guys left one out here. Why isn't San Diego State in the top 25? I would argue this is a good thing for the Aztecs. They are returning the majority of a squad last year who, yes, had a disappointing bow out in the first 4 of the NCAA tournament, but they got older. They got deeper. Reese Waters is coming back. San Diego State being a little disrespected before the season. Bulletin board material.
100%. In if you look at the Aztecs,
up and down, it's one of the best rosters in the country.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not being facetious.
No, they are, because if you look at last year, they kind of overachieved early on. Like, you looked at last year as kind of a down year, and then they had some big wins against Houston, Creighton. They competed with Gonzaga on the home floor. They lost to Oregon, but Oregon had a really good shooter there. But DeGorville, year 2. I mean, now you got a legit point guard. That was the problem last year. Nick Boyd, with all due respect, was a good player. He was not a true point guard, and they had to ask him to take the ball up the floor. Miles Bird, now as kind of a wing player instead of having to bring the ball up, is a massive thing.
Reese Waters' leadership returning. He was a leader on the team the 2 years before.
Magoon Gwath putting on muscle year 2. Ooh. The AP top 25 for college basketball does not matter at the beginning of the season. I know it's nice to be ranked. You
gotta be like top 15 by week 6 or 7. That's right. The teams that win the national championship.
In college basketball, there's so many opportunities between the Thanksgiving tournaments, the conference tournaments, your interleague schedule to move up the rankings. I get it. It's frustrating. San Diego State, I agree, should 100% be ranked in the top 25. But to Fletch, what you just said, like, use it as bulletin board material. Sometimes we've seen teams like North Carolina, when they lost to Kansas, be number 1 overall, and they lose their first 4 games, they're out of the top 25. So sometimes not being ranked can be sometimes a good thing for motivation. I think San Diego State's going to be hell to deal with for a lot of people this year.
I wouldn't want them on my schedule. No shot if I'm a bigger team. And you think about where everything is heading in just 1 year time. This will be the last season for San Diego State in the Mountain West. Following year, you're talking about 2 games against Gonzaga every year. The Pac-12 is going to be incredible for basketball, especially football too. But this is going to be a lot of fun here. This is an absolute banger of a year for San Diego State to have a really good year. And they have the roster to do it. We know they have the coaching staff to do it. This would be a very good time to have one of those teams that's way up there in net rankings, which is more the analytics, and way up there in AP rankings, just for the simple fact, not even that AP rankings in college basketball mean anything, but it means something that your name is on the ESPN app on the front page and not having to go to the Mountain West side. Like, that means something to recruits coming in. So San Diego State will get there, I have no doubt, but frustrating, I guess, is the word for the opening one not being on it.
We've talked about whether this is college football or college basketball. Hell, this could be almost any sport, but especially in college sports, West Coast teams get screwed. Like, it just because think if you're a kid in New York and you're sitting there watching and the West Coast games don't tip off till 10 o'clock at night, you might not be watching the game, like just realistically. So that's why you see in college football and college basketball, Heisman's and Wooden Player Awards.
They mean something.
Typically favor the players who play in the East because they're seeing them in prime time for everyone to see. It's a big deal. And San Diego State has elevated itself to a program that is an elite one in the country.
Let's get to the big three, where I'm sure all three stories will be about scientific studies done on the Kansas City Chiefs. That is coming up right now. Sammy, go ahead and smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The big three.
Now, I usually don't do this, but am I allowed to hijack for 1 second the big three?
Sure, what's up?
I saw a thing that said Victor Wembanyama grew 2 inches this past offseason. Sammy, you're my NBA nerd. Is that true?
I don't know, but he's on the NBA Today set right now, and he makes Kendrick Perkins look small.
So Victor Wembanyama, who was already a tall freak of nature, he was dealing with that. Was it a blood clot last year?
Yeah, he got ended early.
It was like a shoulder blood clot or something last year. But the report is that he's gained 2 inches in height over the last offseason, which I can't even imagine what that makes him. He was already a freak of nature, tall guy who could dribble and shoot. And I wonder what he's going to be this year. I'm actually excited for some storylines in the NBA this year for the first time in a long time. All right, Sammy, where were you going?
Speaking of a story actually in the NBA, so this came out, number 1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, who's a part of the Dallas Mavericks now.
Should have stayed in college one more year.
Well, that's interesting about that. So D'Angelo Russell has been signed to be the point guard for the Dallas Mavericks. He's out with an injury. They are testing out lineups with Cooper Flagg running the point instead of playing what he did in college as a shooting guard and a small forward. Do you think he'd be better suited in the NBA to be a point guard or to be off ball?
I think he'd be better suited in the NBA if he waited one more year of college. Let's just get that out of the way. He didn't. He was the number 1 overall pick to the Dallas Mavericks. Point guard doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I understand that the NBA is transitioning a little bit right now, and you want the guy bringing the ball up in the court who has the ball in his hand the most to be your best scorer on the team. And that's kind of like you see in the final 4 minutes of a game. Luka Doncic will start bringing the ball up for the Lakers. For years with Kobe, he wouldn't bring the ball up the court until it was the final few minutes of the game, and then it was Kobe time. I see what the Mavericks are doing with it. I think it's a mistake. I think you want less pressure on Cooper Flagg every second of his rookie season and let him excel where he's good at, which is being that slasher kind of power forward type guy. Cooper Flagg is not fully developed. Like, I watched him last year a lot because Duke was on national TV a lot. And when I say Cooper Flagg is still very raw, he is ridiculously talented and crazy athletic. He's not 100% there from a basketball standpoint yet. A lot can change in one offseason, and the body is still growing. He's definitely still developing. Is he 20? He's not 21 yet.
Yeah.
Like, Cooper Flagg still has a long way to go, in my opinion. I would think putting that much pressure on him to be the point guard at the NBA level right away feels like a massive mistake to me.
Well, and he's not going to a team where, like the Wizards, where they're going to be awful, but he's going to average 25 points a game, and it's just a developing year. There's the pro and con of, to what you were getting at, of staying in college. Like, he gets to go play on a Dallas Maverick team that, when healthy, is one of the best rosters in the NBA. But what comes with that is there's a lot of expectation, and there's not going to be a lot of time to just develop for Cooper Flagg, who, I agree with you, despite being an excellent player, is very raw. Like, if he came back another year, I think he would really have handled that.
He's still kind of goofy. Like, he hasn't fully grown into his body yet, it feels like.
It's kind of like, even his ball handling is a little weird at times. He's just such a freak athlete that he's able to kind of overcome it. But I'm excited to see how they play this year. And when Kyrie comes back the next year, that team's going to be lethal.
Say what you will about the NBA, it's a very smooth game.
Yes, everyone's an elite athlete.
Yeah, and you got like ballerinas out there on the court whose footwork is impeccable. Cooper Flagg's not there yet. And so that's what I'm saying. Putting him with the pressure, having him dribble in the ball 45, times per possession. It's a crazy thing.
I also don't think like running him in a pick and roll with AD, like that's where AD's had a lot of success, is the best way for the Mavs to do that.
Yeah,
like,
curious. I would try to get what's Kyrie's situation? Is
he's hurt
the whole season?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, which sucks because Kyrie's so fun to watch. Let's go to the NFL. So Michael Penix, quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, says win over the Bills showed Falcons are legit. Do you see them as any competition to the Bucs in the NFC South, and do you see them as a playoff team this year?
All right, let's think about this logistically. What's the Falcons' record at right now? Are they one game over 500?
Yeah, I believe they're 3-2.
3-2. Okay, Bucs are 5-1 right now. I do not. Okay, Bucs can easily take a step back. They've been winning a lot of one possession games, and a lot of it has done with some Baker Mayfield heroics. Bucs do get healthier this week. They have a tough matchup this week. So I don't know that there are shots to knock the Bucs off in division. They absolutely could be a postseason team. The NFC is going to get tricky down the stretch. The NFC is getting hurt a little more by injuries than the AFC at this point. Not the quarterbacks. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow are the two big headlines. But roster-wise, like two of the better teams in the NFC, the Niners and the Bucs, have both dealt with wholesale changes due to just injuries by themselves. NFC is going to get very, very clumpy in that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range. And if I'm a postseason team and I draw the Falcons in my first game and understand I have to deal with Bijan Robinson and Drake London, who all of a sudden has a quarterback who's willing to throw him the football, I'm terrified of the Falcons, who have a really nice defense as well.
Right, the Falcons' problem is not their roster. It's been that they've needed a quarterback, and if Penix can develop into
Drake May had 150 yards last night.
Right. I mean, like, fantastic. But the Falcons, in regards to the NFC, it does feel like last year it was the Eagles and everybody else, and especially when Aiden Hutchinson and most of the defense went down for the Lions, it just felt like there was no one that could really compete there, and the Rams were really the only team that did and rode to their Super Bowl victory. This year, you look at all the top teams. The Eagles have major flaws. We've highlighted that ad nauseum. They've been outgained in every game they've had so far, but they still have stars everywhere. The Rams didn't even look all that great going on the road in Baltimore. The Niners beat them. And you're looking at like the Lions just kind of got shut down, the offense by the Chiefs. Like there's not really a team that's so much better than everyone. So you start to look at your Niners who, like normally if you would have said, hey, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are out for the year, you'd be like, okay, tank it and get a pick. But the fact that the NFC doesn't really have an elite team, that's why I get why the Niners are calling in on Trey Hendrickson, calling in on some of these players. Teams like Atlanta, teams like the Bears, teams like Washington, I feel like really this is an opportunity this year because there's not a team that's so dominant, and there's not really a quarterback that's so much better than everyone else in the NFC.
The Bucs are the one seed in the NFC right now, and you feel like they can get beat.
Right, because they have to come back in every game they have.
Every single game. So, doesn't matter who they're playing.
If I'm a team like Atlanta who has a really good roster, yeah, I would be trying to add at the deadline. It's cool that all these second-year quarterbacks outside of J.J. McCarthy look like they're going to be kind of good for the long haul.
The only teams that are out of it at this point in the NFC are the Saints. I even hesitate to say the Giants because there's a long ways to go and they're starting to have some juice, but they're 2-4. That's going to be really tricky.
They're going to be interesting next year.
And the Cardinals seem like they're a broken football team. So those are the only three teams I would put completely out of it. But you look at the Cowboys, 2-3-1. I still think they're in it. Commanders 3-3, they're in it. Panthers 3-3, meh. Bears 3-2, they're in it. Falcons 3-2, they're in it. Like everyone is in it in the NFC right now. And those wild card spots, the three of them, 5, 6, 7, it's going to be a bloodbath.
I don't think we've ever seen a NFL season so far this late or this a month and a half into the season where there is not a clear cut favorite team that is a head and shoulders above everyone, which makes for a very fun NFL season.
All right, 858 has a massive text in talking about the Chiefs study.
Shout out to the 858.
Massive text. This might be like Sammy's long lost brother or something. His twin.
858. I gotta meet this guy, bro. This guy's a legend.
All right, we will get to it coming up next. If you missed it, UTEP, the University of Texas El Paso, did the deep dive and found that since 2015, the Kansas City Chiefs have been helped out more in the postseason than any other team in NFL history. Science, okay? We can get further into it. 858 coming up next if you'd like to. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, and you can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. When you download it, use promo code Fletch to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Fletch to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Hey, new feature alert on Prize Picks. Something called stacking, which hasn't been available yet on Prize Picks. It's available now, and they're the only app running it. You can use the same player stat projections multiple times in a lineup. That's never been done before. Prize Picks has made it. So say Steph Curry, once the basketball season gets going, you like his 3-pointers number and you like his total number of points, you can stack both of those in the same entry. That's very, very cool that Prize Picks is doing that. And it's groundbreaking. I've been with Prize Picks since November of 2023. Love the app, love the platform, love the people that run it. You should download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Just pick more than or less than on stat projections, and you can win big. Last weekend, I had a $540 winner. This past week, I had a couple of $100 winners. Download Prize Picks. If you got the skills, you can win big. Because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. San Diego Sports 760, we congratulate all of our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators who are shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. All right, 858, if you want to do this, we can do it. Here's the text. Fletch, you can find hundreds of studies that show just the opposite. You found one that agrees with you. Are you playing
That was
Paul
on accident.
Walker
That was
saying forget about it
on
cut?
accident drop.
Come on. ESPN's analysis of data from 2001 to 2024 found no evidence of systematic bias in penalties called in the NFL. Study shows during regular season play, the Chiefs received fewer favorable penalties than average. ESPN, no, there's no concrete evidence. It goes on like this for a while. Here's what
Sounds like a smart guy.
probably 858. Thank you for texting. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I really do. I did not go out and find this study. This study got done and it's taken over the internet. And the study is that from 2015 to 2023, the numbers show by analyzing more than 13,000 penalties in those postseasons from 2015 to 2023, researchers have found that postseason officiating has disproportionately favored the Patrick Mahomes era Kansas City Chiefs. They compared this to numbers of Tom Brady's dynasty in New England. They've compared it to the Eagles, who have been on consistent Super Bowl runs here over the last 10 years or so. They've compared all of the numbers from 2015 to 2023 postseason, and the numbers have spat out that the Kansas City Chiefs have benefited more than any other team.
It's funny that you say you didn't seek it out, because I happen to be listening to the Rock Show this morning, and
Sure,
that was half of the show.
It really wasn't. I don't think we even mentioned it on the Rock Show this morning.
We have one thing to say because
not once.
Yes,
actually.
you did. Well, maybe I'm listening to something else.
Maybe
because
you're listening
I was
to a
getting
different Rock
texts
show.
about this morning, waking up. But listen, it's fine. I get it. Everyone doesn't like the Chiefs. They want to lose. I have one thing to say though. I'm gonna let James Franco do it for me.
I love that movie. I really
End
do.
of story.
That is a fantastic movie. It's called The Interview with James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Everyone's seen that movie.
It's a great movie. It really is. 858, a biased Chiefs fan ignoring hard data is peak NFL fandom. 858, they blinded Sammy with science. D.
This sounds like a Charger fan, a Raider fan, and a Bronco fan.
858 from Patty Cakes and Rascal. I'm a Seattle fan, but Mahomes is the greatest. Mahomes is great. No one's saying he isn't. But what UTEP, the University of Texas El Paso, not Ben Fletcher, is saying.
Why don't UTEP do like stuff that matters?
It
Like
has
actually
proven
focus on science or something.
This is science. This is a study. There are quotes from people with PhD next to their name. One of them being Spencer Barnes that says
so
our
then
findings.
stop watching. If it's so rigged, why does the NFL draw the highest ratings of any sports league there is?
Sammy,
I'm just asking. If
I
it's
understand.
so rigged and it's so awful and so egregious, why do people watch?
I think that all UTEP is trying to say is that since the Chiefs got popular again, which you cannot deny, the bandwagon effect has hit harder with the Kansas City Chiefs than any team, maybe in NFL
But
history.
you said this study went to 2023. Taylor Swift was not a part of the
It
Chiefs
started
until
with Patrick
2024.
Mahomes, not Taylor Swift. I'm sure these numbers continue out in 24 and 25, but the bandwagon effect was real. For a team that had lost a huge chunk of TV revenue, they found it when Patrick Mahomes got up. And since Patrick
Fletch,
Mahomes has gotten up,
let me ask you something, because you're just reading data, but you're not giving an opinion. Are you telling me the NFL is rigging the games for the Chiefs?
I don't even think it's intentional. I think that just Patrick Mahomes being there and the coverage that he gets has led to more favorable decisions going towards Patrick Mahomes.
So then why wouldn't Josh Allen get those calls or Lamar
Because
Jackson?
the Buffalo Bills have had a huge fan base forever. The Chiefs were in a very unique position.
The Chiefs have had a large fan base for a long time.
You can't argue that it got a lot bigger.
Josh Allen is in New York. What you couldn't talk about a bigger brand being in New York and a superstar MVP quarterback. What about Lamar Jackson? Why have the Jets and Giants been so bad for so long?
Sammy, you're arguing against a wall. You're arguing.
No,
I'm
arguing. I'm disproving your argument because it's idiotic to think that
Then
because the NFL is trying to help certain
not on
teams
the rundown.
win. The NFL doesn't need that.
This was not even going to get brought up at all.
You're the one that brought it up.
I brought it up, and then you keep defending it. These
because
scientific numbers.
It's ridiculous to think that because the Chiefs play in more playoff games than everyone else, and they win because they're a good team.
God, let's talk about
then all of a sudden their refs are trying to help them win.
Or Mike Schultz retirement, or AJ Preller saying nothing and everything at the same time. Like all of that was what today's show was going to be about, and somehow
I didn't text in asking about the UTEP thing. That's Ben Fletcher. Okay, they wanted to read that right away. So
858. This is the same group of fans who looked the other way about Rashee Rice and Kareem Hunt.
We don't believe in second chances in life.
747. Has anyone told Jerry Jones that Chiefs are now the America's team? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's everyone
take a breath. I understand it's frustrating. It's hard. It must hurt, doesn't it?
I'm pretty sure I see Sammy's nipples poking through that jacket over there. He's starting to get so excited. What a day. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a quick break. We have a special guest who's going to be joining the show coming up at 1:45. Can't wait for that. He's also sticking around and doing the entire John and Jim show. It's just going to be another Jay today. Actually, another John. You'll hear from him soon. It's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. MLB postseason continues on today. Did you guys see what happened with the Brewers last night? Because that was chaos. That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Give him a call today, 858-376-1299. Let's do a little thought experiment here. And you tell me if this applies to you. You're driving around right now and you're thinking about maybe purchasing the first home you've ever purchased before. You're thinking about selling your house. You're thinking about downsizing. You're thinking about refinancing your loan. You're thinking about taking money out of your mortgage. One guy to call for any of those scenarios. His name is Gary Cooper. You can call him at 858-376-1299 or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary Cooper is the perfect person for you to talk to because he eliminates the smoke and mirrors. He eliminates the BS. He eliminates all the upcharging and the buying down points. Gary Cooper will give it to you like it is. He's going to keep the most money in your pocket as possible. He just had a couple clients who the wife was a teacher, and he was able to get them $40,000 off their down payment with some special program that Gary Cooper has access to right now. If you live in San Diego, give him a call today, 858-376-1299. That couple I'm talking about, the $40,000 was their down payment because they were also first-time home buyers, so they didn't even have to put down a down payment. Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com.
The sport is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Monday Night Football delivered two good ones last night. The Falcons topped the Buffalo Bills at home in Atlanta, and the Chicago Bears went on the road and got a big win over the Washington Commanders. And then in the MLB tonight, NLCS Game 2 after the Dodgers won a nail-biter 2-1 last night. Game that's going at 5:08. Dodgers are currently a slight favorite, -120 on the money line. Yoshinobu Yamamoto will be going for the Dodgers, while Milwaukee will be going with their ace, Freddie Peralta. At Progressive Insurance, they offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options to cover your small business needs and more. Visit progressive.com today. Again, that's progressive.com.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Actually, not John and Jim. They got to fill in today. Stay tuned for that. Now, 4,237 as in dollars.
Circa?
As in dollars is what our lineup is valued at right now, Sammy.
So
is that enough to hit the button and say we're selling for $4,237? We invested $1,000. That is a 4x profit. Usually that's pretty good.
No. But the only way we're considering a buyout, I think it has to start at $100,000. I think now I was wanting to get to our some circa talk today. This week is interesting because last week no one really went out because everyone was kind of on Green Bay.
Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Bills, Jags. Those were the ones that helped us out, and about 200 something people got knocked out.
So this week feels like a lot more. We're gonna have a lot of differential in picks. So like games that could be interesting. I think the Patriots would be a play here. I believe they got. Trying to pull it up right now. They got the Titans. They're on the road in Tennessee. So
here's what's expected. Patriots, 32% of the pool is expected to be on the Patriots, 26% on the Chiefs, 16% on Chicago, 11% on Pittsburgh, 6% on Green Bay.
Pittsburgh makes me nervous in that you're picking
Thursday night game in division
in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, Joe Flacco had the offense working a little bit. Jamar Chase actually looked like he was an NFL wide receiver with Joe Flacco and not whatever that was with Jake Browning. That would also make me nervous. In fact, I'm calling the upset there. I think the Bengals win that game.
I mean, this says that I don't want to burn the Chiefs because they play on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's a division game. The Raiders always play the Chiefs tough. I would stay away from that.
32% of this pool are putting down $1,000 that Drake May is going to win his 4th straight game. That feels risky.
On the road, Titans team could be rejuvenated. Just fire Brian Callahan.
You're counting on Drake May to win 4 straight games in the NFL. I don't care how bad the Titans are. That's going to be tricky for him to do.
Now, the one that makes me nervous, but I do kind of see, is Chicago at home over the Saints.
Ugh.
The pros and cons of that. The con is that they're on a short week.
What's the one above average part of the New Orleans Saints team?
They have a pretty nice receiving core, and they have a good pass rush.
They have a good pass rush and a good defensive line. Caleb Williams struggles when the pocket collapses early. I don't like that game at all. Bears coming off a big win last night. Everyone's feeling themselves a little bit. You got people like Sammy saying, see, we told you Caleb Williams is the second coming of the Messiah. I don't feel good.
I don't know if I said that. I just said that he's not a trash quarterback.
No, I think you did call him Jesus Christ at one point, actually. I think you said that he has risen from the dead and has come back to save football.
So your Niners are favored at home against the Falcons on Sunday night.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a stay away game. I think we got to look at New England, but New England and Chicago have favorable schedules the next few weeks. So we also could want to save one of those teams. New England in Tennessee feels like that's a good pick. You can't burn the Chiefs, who are both holiday teams.
No.
The Bears, it's
we have a
nerve-wracking.
long ways to go this week. I do not feel comfortable saying the Bears right now. I don't have a gut pick. This is the first time of the entire season I don't have a gut pick.
You just get freaked out, though, if a bunch of people are on a certain team. Like, you were freaked out last week about the Packers.
Was that not the sweatiest game we've had all season, Sammy?
It was, because Jordan Love was choking until the fourth quarter.
All right. We'll read a couple of texts here, and then we'll get to the MLB postseason, which has been a lot of fun so far outside of, that first round in Chicago. But 619 said, I just heard Sammy say it must be frustrating. It must be hard when referring to fans of other teams seeing the Chiefs dominate the league. But it must have been frustrating and hard for Sammy to watch Kansas City get the holy hell kicked out of them in the Super Bowl, despite all of the preferential treatment they received.
So if they got destroyed in the Super Bowl, how are they getting preferential treatment?
619, great. The Puddles and Puddles show. Yeah, it's a sweaty show, man, especially on this side of the glass. 949, special guest. Who's it going to be? You'll find out in about 10 minutes. All right. MLB postseason. I saw something that I don't think I've ever seen before last night, and that was the double play that Milwaukee got gifted in that game. Milwaukee should have won last night against the Dodgers. In fact, I think because they lost that game with everything that went their way outside of another stellar start from Blake Snell, who looks like the best pitcher in baseball right now, if Milwaukee wasn't going to win that game, they're not going to win the series. So I kind of already have, unfortunately, the Dodgers moving forward to the World Series. The other side is where things get interesting because Seattle's dominated so far through 2 games. They got the dude in the front row wearing the Cal Raleigh shirt that has I think it's a lava lamp, right, Sammy? That's definitely a lava lamp on his shirt.
Big lava lamp.
Big lava lamp that is shaped very interestingly. But Cal Raleigh, this has kind of been that season of destiny talk for Seattle. But is Seattle good enough to take this 2-0 lead and run the table against a very, very talented Blue Jays team that's been one of the best teams in baseball all year long?
Well, I think the Blue Jays got a little overrated for beating the Yankees. Like, this is what happens. I always say this. When you beat the Cowboys, beat the Lakers, beat the Yankees, you're beating big brands. A lot of people are watching. The Yankees were very flawed. Like, that team was not, despite all the power sluggers and Judge and Stanton and Bellinger had a nice year. Like, that team is very home run dependent, I think. And then Vlad Guerrero Jr. had an amazing series. The Mariners are one of the most complete lineups, I think, that could rival the Dodgers a little bit in terms of the 1 through 9 batting orders, that they can put up enough runs to beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers series is interesting. Like last night, it does feel like a big blow that the Brewers did not win that game. I mean, you have bases loaded in the 9th. You have that amazing double play that prevents runs against the Dodgers. The Dodgers weren't hitting very well.
So that double play, if you missed it, it literally looked like a home run off the bat of Max Muncy. The outfielder,
like grand slam.
Yeah, it looked like a grand slam. It looked like game over, series over. But the outfielder for the Brewers, he goes back, he almost catches it over the wall, doesn't, hits off his glove, hits off the top of the wall, comes back into the field of play. But now it's a live baseball because it hit the wall and didn't go directly.
And Will
into his
Smith
glove.
thought he caught it, so he didn't run to third.
So the The center fielder throws it home. They get the force out at home. It was just pure chaos and confusion on the base pass. They get out of the inning somehow with the bases loaded.
Well, and you felt like that was an opportunity to deal a blow to the Dodgers because Blake Snell, unbelievable performance, one of the best pitching performances I've seen in a long time. And then the bullpen, which has been much maligned for LA, comes in. Sasaki, who they're talking about is, the next all-star closer, ends up really giving it up. And then you bring Blake Trinan in, a guy who has been awful all year for the Dodgers, and they can't do anything. This kind of goes back to the point why we're talking about why it was hard to get excited about the Padres in the postseason. The Padres and the Brewers are the same, and they don't hit home runs. They kind of bat around the base pass. They like to get a lot of hits, but they do not hit. They don't have a lot of slug. They don't have a lot of home runs. And I feel like that came back to bite the Brewers. Like in your own ballpark, scoring 1 run last night, that's unacceptable if you're the Brewers. And I think if you're the Brewers, you have to win this game tonight with Freddie Peralta on the mound.
Sammy, I just emailed you some sound. It's actually a talkback that we got. I'd like to play that here if we could. But again, the talkback mic on the free iHeartRadio app, you just open it up. And when you're listening to San Diego Sports 760, there's a little red microphone icon sitting up in the top right-hand corner. You can use that at any point to leave us up to 30 seconds. It's like a voicemail, essentially, where you get to interact with the show, where you get to take over the show just a little bit. All right, so we talked earlier about the San Diego State Aztecs basketball team and the fact that they weren't ranked in the initial top 25 poll of the AP. And the reason, I'm kind of okay with that. That's total bulletin board material for Dutch and for the boys in what is one of the deepest rosters he's ever had and one of the more talented rosters in the country heading into this year. Our boy Fred out in Point Loma wanted to weigh in on the conversation. Fred, thank you for listening to the show. Let's hear what you have to say.
Hey guys, Fred from Point Loma, hearing you talking about San Diego State basketball. The other element that's important about this is we don't really care for ranked guys, especially preseason. The reality is we've already earned the respect. In the past, it was a struggle to get the respect and therefore get into the tournament. But I feel like nowadays, the Dutch and the program, we get the benefit of the doubt. So who cares if we're in the top 25? We'll be there in the end.
Frederick, you're absolutely right, man. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it a lot. And I think you're 100% right on that. Dutch is recognized now as one of the top, definitely in the top 10 in terms of college basketball coaches in the country. And he's got this thing humming. And they're bringing pretty much everybody back from last year. They're adding Reese Waters, who missed all of last year with injury. This is about as deep a roster as Dutch has ever had. And you look back over the last 7 or 8 years and kind of think, how's that possible? You had the senior laden team that ended up in the national championship against UConn, the senior and super senior laden team with guys like Adam Seiko. You had the Malachi Flynn team with Yanni Wetzel, which was super, super special. I actually think this team is deeper than all of them. And I don't see a weakness on it as of right now. They got shooters all over the court. Magoon Guath has put on weight. Miles Bird, after testing out NBA Waters, is making his way back. Taj DeGorville with a year of experience. Reese Waters with a year of, being hungry on the sideline, still leading this team, but waiting for his time to get back from injury. This has an opportunity to be a really, really special team. And Fred, I'm glad you're excited for it. We're excited for it too. They actually get going this Friday. They got a game against UCLA, an open door scrimmage at Viejas Arena. There are ways for you to get your hands on tickets without being a season ticket holder, but they're very few and far between. So go to goaztecs.com, check it out. I'm hoping to get out there Friday night and get our first look at the boys. Should be a fun year.
Yeah, I'm excited for the San Diego State season. I think they're very deep. I mean, the starting lineup's not set. There's a lot of guys you could put in the starting lineup for this thing. It shows you how deep the roster is, and it feels like last year
there's guys who may be redshirting that we thought were a lock for the lineup this year.
Right, who are coming in and have destroyed the Aztecs and past. Sean Newman, I think at point guard is going to be really exciting. I'm really excited about this team. I think, again, this is not college football where based on your schedule, if you don't have a tough schedule, there's only a few opportunities for you to really move up the rankings. College basketball, I mean, you have a full season to move up rankings. You're playing in a Thanksgiving tournament that has stacked competition everywhere. You're going to be in the Mountain West conference tournament, and the Mountain West always produces solid basketball programs. So really excited for this. I agree with Fred what he's saying. San Diego State's on the map. This is not a program that's trying to become something or trying to establish themselves. They have established themselves after that San Diego State title run. And I think it's going to be a big year on the Mesa.
By the way, Thakbor Magic, we should see him this year. He's 7'1". We've seen him on the bench a lot for the Aztecs. He redshirted last year. LZ Harrington is a freshman, a true freshman coming out of St. John Bosco. They got some dudes coming to this team. And like a guy like Latrell Davis, who torched the Aztecs last year on San Jose State.
I can't believe he could be redshirted because he absolutely dogged the Aztecs out last year in both games. He needs to be playing.
He's one of the most talented shooters in the country. He's an offensive powerhouse, and we'll see. But Farrell Compton, another year, who was massive as a freshman. Remember, he was basically the reason they won that Houston game. He's coming back after a year. And I always say this with San Diego State, especially Dave Velasquez, the most senior assistant for Dutch. He likes to take guys that are freshmen into sophomore year, work on their body, add weight, and work defense. And so all these guys that we thought were really, really talented as freshmen should be A, bigger, and B, much more ingrained into the Aztec defensive philosophy than they were last year. This could be special. Calling our shot now. Maybe it's a little too early, but we'll see. All right, coming up next, special guest joins the show. We can just tell it. It's Jonathan Rifkin. He's jumping in studio coming up next. We'll get you ready for 2 to 6. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up tomorrow night, San Diego Sports 760. It's SDFC Midweek Live. Here from the head coach, Mikey Vadas, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information. SDFC Midweek Live tomorrow, 6 o'clock, right here on your home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. That's the station you're listening to. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We do this show every day from noon to 2. Thank you for being here. We sure do appreciate it. And sitting in, just showing up kind of out of nowhere like he does every once in a while. Hi, Jonathan Rifkind.
J-Riff.
Look at this mustache. What are we doing?
Okay, I didn't ask him about that before.
It's gross.
What led to the goose porn stash, dude?
He was just watching Miles Teller in the new Top Gun movie. He's like, I got to do that.
I gotta be that.
Go to St. Louis this weekend, whether or not it needs to stay.
Dude, how
for now it's here, and we're rolling with it.
How does Jenna feel about that gross? It's a caterpillar that's just sitting on your upper lip. Ew, dude.
She loves it. This is solely for my significant other.
Sure.
For me.
Sure.
Does she really love Miles Teller?
Probably more than she fits me.
All right, so like when you got, never mind, I'm not gonna say it out loud. No, we're good, man. We're working hard,
good, man.
SDFC is about to bring the first major championship to San Diego in history.
How exciting!
It's pretty fun
to be heard here on San Diego Sports 760.
And with like the best broadcast group ever, with Adrian Garcia Marquez and Darren Smith.
One of which you'll be able to hear at 4:30.
Is D Smith jumping on with you?
Smith is coming on at 4:30.
Because I actually think Adrian's jumping on with us a little bit later in the week, so that's all good stuff.
Power couple, man. That's awesome.
Adrian Garcia Marquez is so talented. Like Darren is too. Don't get me wrong, but you listen to Adrian Garcia Marquez. I'm just saying, like the play-by-play he's done.
2 different roles. So yeah, for a play-by-play guy, he's top of his game.
Now J-Riff is like a play-by-play nerd. That's what he does in life.
It is,
and
yes.
Adrian Garcia Marquez has to be up there with the Al Michaels and the greatest to ever do it.
I mean, in the sport of soccer, there are maybe 3 or 4 names that are, revolving around his, but it is really a who's who when it comes to, and he's so talented. Ugh.
All right, so what's going on? You said you're going to St. Louis this weekend. What are you doing?
Yeah, I got a little playoff soccer of my own. I'm calling the MLS Next Pro first round, St. Louis City 2 and Ventura County FC, 7 o'clock. Oh, no, wait, what are we on? The West Coast, 4 o'clock here on the Pacific on Sunday. If you have any St. Louis Rex, hit me up, by the way.
Do you know how to call soccer games?
Absolutely. I think that soccer is the most...
I'm just out of curiosity. Like,
and Adrian would agree with soccer is the most important sport to call because it's an encapsulation of literally every sport. In the way that there's slow pace like baseball.
Sure.
There's quick jolting moments like in football, basketball, and hockey, and you kind of have to learn how to work with it. So to be able to operate within that ecosystem successfully is really difficult, and it prepares you for all the other sports. So I love soccer.
Not to go off topic, but we have a text from Rich McGuire asking about the Hardwood Classic between you two a couple years ago.
I just polished that trophy.
Hardwood and Balls Classic.
The Hardwood and Balls Classic.
So yeah, I got my ass kicked.
Are we getting a rematch? Are we going to do a 2v2 thing?
See, since the Hardwood,
I definitely went in.
Drew's been very honest.
I have a friend who's been balling Mission Valley who can hop in.
Since the last Hardwood and Balls Classic, I have gone through an entire ankle reconstruction surgery.
So is this an excuse for why you're not going to play?
Adrian Peterson had 2 ACL surgeries and he was still an MVP.
I'm not Adrian Peterson. What I'm saying is I'd be happy to stand there and hold a camera and drink beer and watch as you guys play. That's fine.
So
with
you're
me.
okay with the fact that J-Riff owns you forever and ever?
Absolutely.
My name's on the trophy. I just polished it. It's in my studio at home.
My dude took advantage of some conditions in that game, no doubt.
What condition? I was there.
Excellent shape. I'm in awful shape.
No. You, first off, I remember listening to the show that day, and you were running your mouth talking about how you were going to mop J-Riff.
Little did I know that J-Riff wasn't going to miss from 3. I had a strategy going in. Strategy didn't play out.
This is no disrespect to J-Riff, but J-Riff was doing just open shots.
Yeah,
because you weren't even guarding
I wanted. Well, because he was making them.
Well, I was
maybe shotgun and Coors at Ian Carl's Jr. before the game wasn't the right strategy.
My coaching staff of Rich Ornberger and Travis Dale decided my pregame meal was going to be a 7-Eleven Slurpee and a quarter pounder from McDonald's.
Disgusting.
Which was a mistake, and I could feel them just jostling around.
Sammy, your father thought that his career was over. He thought he was going to have that Fletch his life was going to be over. over and that he was going to
die.
have that on his conscience. Thank God we all got out of it alive.
Had to step in and save it.
And you know what? I have no problem saying that J-Riff beat the you-know-what out of me, and I'm happy about that.
He is yet to recover.
I have a fond memory of that day, and J-Riff and I are still dear friends.
We gotten closer since, actually.
I would argue, yes. We've gone camping together since then. You never know what goes down in those tents, bro.
Whoa. Yo, what is going on?
All right, we're out of here today. J-Riff is going to fill in for John and Jim today.
Crazy behavior to end the show.
Who are you talking to?
All right, we got a packed show. Drew Ferris, former NFL long snapper, is going to join me. Current really great coach and media member. I also have Darren Smith at 4:30. Rich Orenberger is going to come on. Trent Rush, the great voice of UC Irvine, Fox Sports, and also Fox 11 with our guy Kyle Kraska. He's going to join us, as well as Steve Quist, the voice of UCSD basketball and the San Diego Clippers.
That is a loaded show. You got Big Rich?
We got Big Rich.
Wow.
Get ready, guys.
Can't wait to hear that.
Strap in.
All right, we're out of here. J-Riff coming up next. Talk to you guys tomorrow.